Okay, Assalamualaikum. So today I will explain to you some topic in the horticultural pest and disease management. Okay, the topic is about introduction to plant pests and their significance in horticulture and landscape industry. Okay, before we go further, let's see some video about pests and disease in the past.
In the fall of 1845, potato plants in fields across Ireland started turning black and rotten. The potato crop failure was even greater the next year, and for the 3 years after that. Crop failure is a hardship, but for the Irish people, it was devastating. In Ireland, these years became known as An Gorta Mór, or the Great Hunger. From 1845 to 1849, Ireland's potato crop was ruined by late blight, a disease that destroys both the leaves and the edible roots of the potato plant. Many Irish peasants relied on potato farming for their main source of food and income. Without the potato, they had little food to eat and no money to pay their rent. So great numbers of the Irish poor found themselves hungry and homeless. Across Ireland, famine became widespread, and the Irish people suffered great horrors during this time. Many people died of starvation. Soup kitchens provided limited food rations and cornmeal was imported, but this was not enough to prevent malnutrition. Weakened from hunger, people could not fight off disease, causing more deaths. Families rarely could afford coffins for those they lost. Relief came slowly. Ireland was ruled by Great Britain, and for the majority of the famine, Great Britain was led by a prime minister who believed.
Okay, you see, because of there are no advancement technology and how to control pests and disease efficiently, it caused a very devastating impact, such as the malnutrition or even death of certain of the people during that time in Irish because of the potato famine. This is the Great Famine, occurred in 1845. One of the most devastating and historically significant plant diseases is potato late blight. Epidemic of late blight destroyed the potato crop in Europe in the 1840s, leading to the mass starvation. One of the most significant effects of the disease on the population of the US was Great Irish Potato Famine, which occurred during 1845 until 1847, where up to 1 million people died from the loss of their staple food crop. This is the statue made uh, for the remembering of the losses because of the potato famine. And this illustration is from the time to illustrate how it was during the potato late blight or the potato famine. Okay, we don't want that to happen in today's. That's why scientists has come out so many various ways how to control pest and disease from become uncontrollable. Then the learning outcome for this topic, students should be able to briefly describe the impact of pest and disease in the past, then define pest and its component correctly, explain the impact or the significance of pests and diseases in landscape and horticultural industry. Some of the introduction about agriculture, pest and disease also in the past. Wherever agriculture has been practiced, pests have attacked, destroying parts or even all of the crop. In modern usage, the term pest includes animal, mostly the insects, fungi, plants, bacteria, and viruses. Human efforts to control pests have a long history. Even in the Neolithic times, about 7,000 before century, farmers practiced a crude form of biological pest control involving the more or less unconscious selection of seeds from the resistant plants. This is some of the ancient symbol to show that during that time people know how to do agriculture, how to produce their own food. But that time also they face the same problem like us, the pest and disease. Okay, let me explain this during bahasa because it feel more close to ourselves, to our religion. um, Kisah penyakit tumbuhan ni pernah juga disebut dalam Al-Quran, yang mana sewaktu kisah Nabi Musa iaitu semasa di Mesir, bagi membebaskan kaumnya Bani Israel dari siksaan Firaun, Allah menurunkan kemarau yang panjang di Mesir sehingga mereka meminta Nabi Musa berdoa kepada Allah. Jika Allah menghilangkan kemarau ini, maka mereka akan beriman, iaitu Firaun lah. Di sini ayat Al-Araf 133, maka kami kirimkan kepada mereka taufan, belalang, kutu, katak dan darah sebagai bukti yang jelas, tetapi mereka tetap menyombongkan diri dan mereka adalah kaum yang berdosa. Apa yang berlaku setelah itu? Allah menghilangkan kemarau setelah Nabi Musa berdoa kepada Allah. Namun Firaun serta pengikutnya tetap tidak mahu beriman. Maka Allah mengirim belalang yang memakan tanaman dan buah mereka. Namun mereka tetap tidak mahu beriman. Lalu Allah mengirimkan kutu, katak dan darah semuanya untuk menguasai mereka. So if you see, during our Prophet Musa, also there's a problem about pest and disease that will damage crops. Okay, pest and disease control at present time.
Iowa State University Extension and Outreach is helping Iowa farmers manage weeds, insects, and diseases in their fields. Pest management is key to high yields and quality grain.
Insects can impact yields in a couple ways, and one way is causing indirect injury, so they feed on the leaves, stems, roots, other plant parts, or they can directly feed on the seeds or the kernels. And so over time, with building numbers of pests, increasing damage to the direct and indirect injury, they can take away yield. We're never going to be able to control insects, and we're never going to be able to eliminate insects, but our best hope for farmers is to provide tools to suppress. We want to keep the numbers down as much as we can to protect the crop.
ISU Extension and Outreach specialists are providing the tools and resources farmers need to manage insect pests.
Being out in the field, it goes a long way. You can see the good insects, maybe the ones that we consider pests, and you can see them early before stand loss or plant death or anything really severe happens.
Disease can also have an economic impact on field crops by reducing yield and grain quality.
So my favorite question is when somebody asks me, what diseases can I expect for this coming growing season? I always like to say to that person, well, first of all, if you can tell me.
Okay, from the video, we can see there are a lot of ways how to diagnose the plant disease and plant pests, and they come up with various control methods to make the control more effective than depending or relying on single control methods. That is what it called integrated pest management. That is how to control pests and disease at present time. What is pest? Pest can be defined as organism which is detrimental to humans or human concern, cause damage to agriculture through feeding on crops or parasitizing their livestock, and the term may be used to refer specifically to harmful animals or organisms, including weeds, plant pathogenic fungi, and viruses. So that is what pest is about. The component of the pests are the insects, the pathogens, the weeds, and also the others. Let's see each of the component in more detail. Let's see the example of pathogen. We have the fungus or the fungi. This is the form or the shape of fungus that we commonly see. And then the bacteria, the microorganism, the nematode, just like the earthworm, but they are not actually worm. They are tiny organism that will cause disease on the plant and also the virus. All the microorganism or the pathogen cause diseases on plants. Then we have the weeds. Okay, weeds can be categorized into sedges, narrow leaf, fern, and also broadleaf. And we have insects. There are so many insects has been identified now. Some of the important insects in landscape and agriculture industry identified as butterfly, the bees, the beetle, and the damselfly. We have many more. I just show you a few. Okay, then we have the others. Component of pests consists of the rat, the monkeys, the birds, and also the bat. Others, they are causing pests. They are causing damage on agricultural crop as well, but it is not common because this can be the problem if our agricultural sites or landscape area located near the forest area where these of the animal dwell. So it's not the common. That's why we categorize them as others. What are the impact of the pests and diseases in landscape and horticulture industry? Of course, some of you might thinking about the damaging crop and all the diseases, but let me show you some of the impact. In terms of the negative impact, we have all the damages on the crop or on the plant, diseases carried by the insects. So once the insect feeds on the plant, we can see the leaf like torn leaf, holes on the leaf. There are so many defects that we can see if the plant has been attacked by the pests and diseases. And then we have the corn smut disease. The image on the right, where you can see the corn has been enlarged like this. This is what we call the smut corn type of fungal disease. But they are actually edible and they are called the Mexican truffle. If you Google or you can YouTube the smut corn or the Mexican truffle, they use this kind of fungus in their cooking. Okay, other negative impact, the weeds, even though they are not categorized as animal or any diseases, but they still pests because they compete with the main crop and serve as a host plant for the pest. And squirrel, they will feed on the fruit, causing holes on the fruit, especially the fruit that release the sweet scented or sweet smell, like durian, mango, papaya, and so forth. Other negative impact also caterpillar. Very common caterpillar feeds on the plant or any parts of the plant, like the fruits, the flower, the branches, the leaf. And then some of the disaster or the environmental impact, like flood due to the rainfall, and then it will cause the waterlogged, which can lead to the plant diseases because too much moisture around the area that will promote the growth of the fungus and the bacteria. Next, we have the manifestation of nutrient deficiency symptoms. Can render plants more susceptible to pests and diseases, like this image. Some of the nutrient deficiency can look like damage caused by pests or diseases. And then we have the mango anthracnose caused by fungus. You can see the blackened parts or the black spot on the mango. Normally happen when the mango is left too long in the ripened stage, when there is too much moist, too much soft texture, that will cause the development of the fungus, because the spore of the fungus is already there. They wait for the correct or for the right moment for them to grow and develop. Next, we have the monkeys. Monkeys will steal fruits and damaging our crop, and also the wild hog will feed and damage our crop. These two animals will cause a nuisance if our farm area near the forest area. Okay, hold on. Not all of them carry negative impacts. Some of them actually bring about benefits. What do you have in mind? The benefit could be brought by all the organisms that we also call as pests. Okay, the positive impact: control other insect pests, also known as predators. The mantis feed on the insect, the smaller insects, smaller than their body, and then the wasp feeds on the insect pests as well. And then we have the ladybug or the lady beetle. They are natural predators for the aphids. Aphid is a common pest which feeds on 100 type of plants, but they are also have their natural predator, which is the ladybug or the lady beetle. Other predators, the bird, which can feed on the insects as well. The lacewing feeds on the smaller insects. Robber fly feeds on the smaller insects. Next, besides of being predator, feeds on other insect pests. Some of the insect actually edible. We can eat them, just like grasshopper. We can eat grasshopper as our alternative food sources, and then some of the insect produce pupa, which we can use in the textile industry. You know, the silkworm, we can produce silk from them. Then we have edible fungus, the cendawan yang boleh dimakan. So this is the example of the fungus which grow on the dead wood, which is edible. Besides of being useful in the ecosystem, hasten the process of the decomposition, they are also edible. We can eat them. And then for the aesthetic value, insect collection, when we collect or when we catch some of the very fascinating or very interesting bug, like butterflies, which have very interesting patterns or color, it will give the aesthetic value. People will buy them in high price if they are very rare. And then other positive impact, pollinators. Do not forget about the pollinators. Do not forget about the pollinators, like the bees, the moth, and the butterfly. Without them, any fruits can be produced, and the bees producing honey, which is good to our health. Honey, this is the honey. Okay, in summary, what are the positive impact and the negative impact for the pests and diseases? They can serve as the predator, for the example, the birds, the ladybug, rubberfly, the wasp, mantis, lacewing, etc. Then we have pollinators, the bees, the moth, and the butterflies. Alternative food sources, the grasshopper, the cricket, etc. And then textile, the silkworm. And then for the aesthetic value, insect collection. Negative, of course, they are pests. Most of them are pests, insects and then non-insects. And then diseases caused by the pathogen, but some pathogen could be carried by some of the insects like aphids, and then they become hosts for the pests and diseases, weeds. Besides of competing our main crop with nutrient and water uptake space sunlight, they are also serve as a host for the pests and diseases, the weeds. Okay, question time. What are the impact of pests and disease in the past? What do you have in mind? You know, the potato famine occurred around 1840 something. It will cause the starvation, because potato in that country is a staple food. So when most of the potato plant has been infected by the disease, so they don't have alternative, they don't have another food to survive. So they facing starvation during that time, and then malnutrition and leads to the death. There are about more than 1 million deaths because of the potato famine during that time, and then force people to migrate to the other country. Okay, next, define pests. What is pests? Can be defined. Pests can be defined as organism which is detrimental to human or human concern, and then cause damage to agriculture through feeding on the crop or parasitizing the livestock. The term may be used to refer specifically to harmful animals or organisms, including the weeds, the plant pathogenic fungi, and viruses. Okay, last question. What are the components of the pest? I think this is the very easy part. So they are insects. Can you name a few examples of insects? It could be the grasshopper, the butterfly, the caterpillar, the cricket, the flies, and etc. The weeds, the pathogens. Pathogen is a microorganism that cause disease on plant. Then we have others like the monkeys, the bird, the rodent, like the squirrel and rats, and the elephant. It also known as the non-insect pests. As for the conclusion, in summary, understanding the definition, components, and the historical impact of the pests and diseases highlight their critical influence on landscape and horticulture industry, emphasizing the effective management strategies. Thank you.